A new player, yeah, a new player,
A
yes.
new player and new coach in the team.
So it's coming down to basically, does the player have the understanding of what you're doing and what he is doing? Does he understand that okay, he's here to help us. He's not here to tell us that he's better than you. He's there to help you to understand the game better. Because basically, a coach can always be helping them to understand how to do the lane phase better and everything like that. But that it's commonly known how to do different stuff. But then you also have to remember that the biggest thing that you never have to do before a game, don't drink the fucking Red Bull, because then you're gonna lose your like you're gonna become like agile and moving around and have a lot of energy. It's like, don't do it like that. Just do the
But
simplest. Yeah,
better
yeah.
better drink some coffee or something, or just
Coffee
like
is
that.
better. Yeah, coffee is good, but as long as it's not like a double espresso or the Greek coffee.
Yeah.
If you drink the Greek coffee, like the one that you can get at every
And every
coffee
corner.
corner, every corner that you want to go out. If you go out the door, you probably have two coffee shops at every corner that you're.
A lot of athletes, competitive athletes, they go to gym, they do stuff like that. Do you think that's important for a competitive player to go to gym, go for some jogging, or
Not jogging directly. I would say that working
like
on your
like
legs,
like
legs,
working your body, all of your
yeah,
body?
workouts. Like a normal workout routine is probably the best, but don't, for the love of God, don't work too hard on your hands, because the most important thing that you have is your wrists. If you don't have good wrists, you're fucked. It's like I had a carpal tunnel in this hand, so it makes so that if I'm sitting on the computer for such a long time, I'm gonna have to take painkillers because or else I'm gonna not be able to use the mouse for a couple of minutes. So
Yeah, a lot of
take care of your hands, and then by far mostly take care of your feet as well, because you're gonna be sitting still so much, so you're gonna lose muscle percentage like every week if you don't do anything else and just sit at home and move. Like you need to have a healthy lifestyle to be able to be healthy and energetic. It's like when I was young, like 18, 17, I was sitting all night playing games, like don't giving a shit, not understanding that okay, probably that's why I'm sleeping until like 5, 6 p.m. every day. Best example right there is if you have Hungry Panda, you know him?
yeah.
This guy was sleeping so much during the summer, and then he was like playing now and then, streaming now and then. It's like if you're gonna be doing like Hungry Panda, like I told him, get a grip and do something about it instead.
Who's the coach that you admire the most nowadays? Not only for the tight aspect of team performance, for example, based on the roster that he has and the team that he manages, what's your favorite coach? The one you wanna go after him, be like him, be better
It's
than
like
him.
the one coach I want to be better than is my friend. It's Fayan Jivas. He is the coach of Red Candidates now in Brazil. He has. You have heard about BRTT, yeah?
Yeah.
The AD carry from Greece, from Brazil. I mean, sorry, not Greece, Brazil. He is probably one of the most intelligent coaches I've ever worked with in my life. He gave me the first time I was working with him. He gave me an analyst paper that was so fucking good. I was like, what the fuck have I been doing in the last year? Like, I was mind blown because this kid, he remembers cooldowns, he remembers everything that is needed to remember. Like, he is both an analyst and a fucking head coach at the same time. It's like he is like Last Shadow, but I won't say that I don't respect him, but I don't respect his meanings and his way of acting. I feel that's kind of like, yeah. But I would say that him, Red Candidates, Fire and Jeebus, that is a good friend of mine. I would say that I respect him the most. And the second coach that I respect even more is my friend from Fnatic, Nico De Pico, the head coach there, because he took a jump from being a semi-professional player that has been around for time, but he has a knowledge that is needed, and he got into a position at first at Origin, and then he got the dream job, Fnatic, you know.
Yeah.
So it has to be like he told me, it is not about how you actually get the players to play. It's how do you get them to work together. It's like the corporation of being a team is better than anything else. So I would say that I respect them to the most, and I want to beat them so hard if I get to play versus them.
Yeah, that's the best feeling I think.
Oh,
To
it's a good feeling.
yeah, to to meet one of the guys that
Friends.
you wanna, yeah, that's friends. You admire them, and you beat them in the battlefield. So you have
Yeah,
a
that's
handshake.
the handshake after the pick and ban. That's probably gonna be the most satisfying part of the games.
What were the reasons that made you left the different dimension team? Did the
Basically,
Navy proposal came before or after that?
and no, I didn't. I didn't get the NaVi proposal before it. I just felt that it wasn't a good idea to go back into the same environment that I always have been in. And when it comes to the Greeks, I didn't actually get payment before because I didn't want it. But when I actually feel that people are working as hard as they are and they're doing as much as they're doing and they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I'm not talking about me in general. I'm talking about generally on all coaches. If you're coming to a team, you will you will demand some respect from the players. But when still, basically, if they still stay in the same mentality as they had as the last time you were playing with them, and you don't see any options of moving on, and you feel like you're just hitting the wall every week, then it's probably time that you do the big decision and move on. Even if I love the Greek scene and I love how all the fans are the best, man. Like they're so fucking funny in the long run. It's like even if they're coming in your Twitch stream and joking and shit like that, it's still like, yeah, you understand that they're not doing it on purpose. They're doing it because that's how they act. Simple as that. That's also something that's making you move on because you don't always want to stick too long at the same team. But if the offer, like I was in Saloniki, I was talking to different dimensions and the manager Mo. As long as I don't feel it's gonna be the same as last time we did the LCS expansions. But yeah, simple is like if you feel that it's gonna be the same shit as the first time you did it, and then you move on to a new one, and then it's gonna be so many different types of problems that you can't solve, and you feel that you're being helpless. Then you have to accept that thing that even if it's an thing that you have to do and prove that you can do it, still I didn't want to do the time spent on it. So I sent a message to a friend of mine that's Jeeves. I sent a message to him and told him, do you know about any open coach openings? Because this is right before the Challenger Series openings. And then sent him a message and asked him simple, do you know about any good positions that are paid? I really want to see if I can do it this time now without actually doing a small scene. So they told me that, okay, I'm going to send you a couple of messages and actually ask for you and be able to help you out. So first of all, I got into Galatasaray. I was talking with the players, but they didn't want my type of coaching because they wanted more of a micro help with their mechanics and stuff like that. That is actually the hardest part. If you find a coach that's good on that, take him before me, either way around. I wasn't pissed off at all. And then I got an offer from another team that was going to try to do something in the French scene when it comes to gaming house and stuff like that, because I haven't actually been inside a gaming house for a longer period of time than 1 month, as in my experience. So if you can get a good coach and if you get a good offer that is actually paying you enough to quit your day job, that is perfect.
Yeah,
that was what I wanted.
It's the most beautiful thing.
So one of my former players that is my top laner now, Sven, I wrote to him that I said, I'm a free agent now. I haven't signed anything. I'm not going to sign anything because I really want to see if I can actually get a better job. So like right now, I'm going to fucking Moscow, you know. I'm going to I'm inside a Riot League. So all the secrecy and all the stuff you never see, you get to see. Like you get to see the contract database, you get to see stuff like that. Like things that you don't normally get to see and hear, and like simple good stuff that is going to help you to grow as a coach as well, because Riot really appreciates that people are wanting to do this as a professional living. So I asked NaVi, then you're going to give me a tryout. They gave me a tryout. There was 3 other coaches as well, I think it was, on the tryouts. I got 2 days to show them who I was and how I am and how I'm talking. Thankfully, I'm in Norway and I have a good internet, so I can stream. So I could show them a little bit of what they're doing stupidly and talk to them about communications, give them a game plan. try to set up how it is. So, like, basically, I got the job because I had a mentality of actually not being only on micro, like telling you like this is a mistake, this is a mistake. I'm telling them instead like that this is what opened up the door for them, and then they agreed on actually getting me in because I have an education behind me that is stating that I know a little bit about personal, like your personality, how you act with people, and you interact with other human beings. That's also why I'm always smiling when I'm talking to other people, because you see my body language or my body tongue, like Rio is saying, body tongue, as Rio is saying, you know. I would rather have it so that they understand that who I am. So I would like, that's what I'm trying to sell to players, that if you're sitting on a fucking computer with Reddit open and Twitch open and looking at a stream and listening to me talking, and I'm using my personal time as well on this, why the fuck should I coach you then? That's the thing I appreciate when it comes to players that are getting a little bit up. So that was a big setter for me when it comes to being able to go into a gaming house, even if it's like stating that like it's just simple business, that you have to take the big hard choice to move on, even if Different Dimension is always going to be a team that I'm going to be looking at, the first one that gave me the chance in Europe after I came back from Asia. As like I told Wild Panda the other day, he's now an owner of a team. I told him, if you're gonna be making a shot for the European scene and not only being in Greece, you need to at least have the bare minimum that is legal to have on a Greece team, like probably 2 Greeks, 2 Greeks, and then you have to have an academy team with the Greeks on the other side that has to learn from the players that are on the main team. That is how you do business better than what you're doing right now. The simplest of all of the Greek players and all the Greek stuff. It's like one of the people that I like the most when it comes to showcasters is actually Bliss, because this guy, like, even if sometimes I don't understand Greeks, but still I enjoy watching the LGC when he's talking together with Forgiven, because that actually is quite funny, because you can see the reaction on Forgiven's face. He's like, what did he just say? Like that one, yeah, you know. Yeah. This is something that is like Different Dimension has so many good players, so many opportunities, but still it's always something that's hitting the wall, because if you can't solve the problems that has been inside team for so long, the aura around the team is gonna be like that. It's gonna be ending up with you having problems with staying, and thankfully for them, my friend Frosty, now that is the head coach, thankfully for them he stayed, but still it's kind of like when you're getting games that is hard, you're getting a lot of different personalities on a team. If they can't work together, and I can't work with them, if I get frustrated and I get pissed off and we have discussions and we fight between us, it's like you feel that you're just helpless because you're not sitting next to them and doing it. That's the simplest thing to say. That's one of my biggest reasons by leaving Different Dimensions, because I wanted to see how far I can go and actually just putting it behind me. Like we were talking about basically the esports, if they're gonna do something together with Panathinaikos, Olympiacos, or PAOK. It's like if you're gonna do something like that when it comes to actually having a team inside a football team, and when it comes to esports, you're gonna be one of the under areas of the football team as well. So it's gonna be ending up with you having a lot of respect and a lot of things. You have football players can't say whatever they want to say. It's going to be the same thing as if you're going to be inside Paris Saint-Germain. Like, you can't actually be acting like a fucking retard. Like, you can't be badly about it. So as long as the attitude is okay and the mentality is okay and players are doing it because they want the best for both Greece and for the League of Legends community in Greece, then you can do it. Because you have to build the right team behind it, and then you have to look deeper into the players and not only just pick them up because they're high low. You have to pick out the best players that are best for the position that they are at the moment. Then you have to build them up together with them. That's the simplest way to do it. If you're gonna be putting up a football team and an organization is gonna be behind it, because you get so many sponsors at the same time.
It's like Paris Saint-Germain in France. They formed the esports team, esports section at the Paris Saint-Germain team, and they instantly took Yellowstar as a manager.
Yeah, because
their first move was that.
because he is one of the most respected players in France and also in the world. So at the same time, if players are gonna come in, they will respect him as a manager and a coach as well. Even if he's head of esports, they will respect him because he has the experience that no one other people almost have. So it's like, yeah, you will gain so much more out of it than anything else. Organization that I would probably visit, that's very simple. You would actually go to Korea and visit SKT. If you could stay there for like 2 months, you would go there. If not, if they didn't open the door to me, I would go to KSD Rolster or probably Rocks, and I would probably try to hang out with Smeb for a couple of weeks. But still, that's if I could switch anything out in their organization, I would probably say that there is not like they were doing it correctly. So probably the smallest thing I could say is probably they should pick up Apto, Dopa. Simple as that. They shouldn't let the players go to China. They should keep them in Korea so they don't lose out on their skill sets. If you watched the games yesterday from the Samsung Longsu games with the Deft, no, not he's not there, but still, Deft is back in Korean scene. I don't remember the team at the moment, but still, if you don't let them go to China just to get the money and different culture, you will get a lot more out of the players in the long run because that's how you're supposed to be with players. Let me see if I can try to say this. You know, Kali Sinesia?
Yeah, that's it.
That one.
Kali
That one is good. Kali Sinesia. That one is good.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time
and
the conversation we had.
And then Efta Sarishopoli.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Efta Saropoli, yeah.
Thank
that one
you.
is good as well.
Thanks a lot.
And then I'm gonna be heading off. So thank you for the interview. That was good. And then hopefully you'll learn some stuff about how it is to be a coach in not only Greece but also the rest of the world. So you can understand that it's not the simplest job in the world, but it's also a really giving job if you want to do it. Also, most important thing is hopefully the Greeks will understand that if they stop flaming and completely being harsh about themselves, they could probably get further than what they are now. Because even if Forgiven is kind of toxic on his Twitter and stuff like that, it means that he also has a reason behind it, and they can't do anything behind what he's doing. He doesn't say anything without thinking it through.